Pega Knowledge Base. Knowledge matters. Explain about the decision tree rule. The system adds entries it finds from the following sources in the order listed. The system adds entries it finds from these sources in the top of the list. Requester, Data Admin Requester class, usually this adds the rule sets named Pega rules, and Pega int SVCs, and a version or version prefix for these. Division as referenced in the operator ID instance. Organization as referenced in the operator ID instance. Access group, as referenced in the operator ID instance. Rule set versions, prerequisite rule sets and versions to those already compiled. Operator ID, if this user has the ability to check out rules, the personal rule set, named the same as the operator ID key, is added last. It is also called a private rule set. Name the declarative rules in Pega. The declarative rule is an instance of a class derived from rule declared. 1. They allow for automatic processing of property values. 2. No need to be called explicitly. 3. No need to run in a sequential fashion. 4. The system manages re-evaluation when it detects a change. Declarative rules in Pega are 1. Rule declare expressions. 2. Rule declare index. 3. Rule declare trigger. 4. Rule declare on change. 5. Rule declare constraints. What is the difference between page validate and property validate methods? Page validate. This method is used to validate all the properties present on a page. If a page contains embedded pages, this method works recursively to validate all the properties. This method consumes a lot of system resources and takes more time. If you want to validate specific properties, use obj_validate method with rule obj_validate rule. Property validate. This method is used to impose restrictions on property value. Use the edit validate rule along with property validate method to impose restrictions. You can validate multiple properties using the property validate method. Explain about case management in Pega. Case management in Pega enables a user to adapt to the unpredictable, event-driven or automatic changes in a case and its processes. It pools real-time adaptation with unique solutions for every case to suit ad hoc additions. It also saves the case as a template for the future application. What are the advantages of case management in Pega? The advantages of Pega case management are 1. Improve the processes of case management with holistic support. 2. Increase the efficacy of caseflow for automatic and dynamic response. 3. Ensures consistency and removes errors with context-based and real-time management. 4. Lessen time, costs, and effort needed to implement case management. Differentiate between decision table and decision tree. Decision table. 1. The logic implemented in the decision table is if, else if condition. 2. In the decision table, if the first condition is true, it will not check the remaining conditions / if the first condition is false, then only it will check the next condition. 3. For simple logic, we can go to the decision table. Decision tree. For the logic implemented in decision tree is if condition. 5. In a decision tree, if the first condition is true or false, it will check all conditions and it will return results. 6. For simple logic, we can go for a decision tree. Explain about map value rule. A map value rule is a rule that converts one or two input values, such as latitude and longitude numbers, into a calculated result value, such as a city name. The rule uses ranges for the input value or values and a matrix to look up the result. Map value rules are instances of the rule obj_map value rule type. This rule type is part of the decision category. What is portal and where it will be configured? It is an interface that shows up for the client, either developer or an end user. An entry can be arranged in access group. Example: developer entry, chief gateway, client entryway, administrator entrance. What is locking in Pega, and describe its types? Locking is acquiring control over a work object before proceeding to perform any action on it and to ensure only a single user to perform actions on a work object at a time. What is locking in Pega, and describe its types? There are two types of locking, as stated below. 1. Default locking, only one user can work on a work object at a time. 2. Optimistic locking, this is an enhanced feature introduced in Pega 7, where multiple operators work on the same object at a time. Explain about declare triggers. 1. Declare trigger runs an activity when instances of a specific class are created, updated, or deleted in the database. 2. Declare trigger is always forward chaining. What is forward chaining? Forward chaining provides the automatic calculation of the property by executing the declarative rule when any one of the input property values is changed. Example: if the area property depends on the length and width property, then forward chaining causes the area property to be recalculated every time either length or width values change. What is backward chaining? Backward chaining provides the automatic calculation of the property by executing the declarative rule when the value is needed for the property, rather than when an input changes. Example: if the area property depends on length and width property, the backward chaining causes the area property to be recalculated each time the area property is required. How do you implement declare index? The following are the steps that are implemented for declaring an index. 1. Create a class inheriting from the index class. Provide these three properties: pxIndexedKey, pxIndexCount, pxIndexPurpose. 2. Create rule declare index and provide source page context and source page context class, index class to write. 3. In the list view, the join tab provides declare index name. What are Pega guardrails? There are 10 Pega guardrails as follows. 1. Adopt an iterative approach. 2. Establish robust foundation. 3. Do nothing that is hard. 4. Limit custom Java. 5. Built for change. 6. Design intends on the driven process. 7. Create easy-to-read flow. 8. Monitor performance regularly. 9. Calculate and edit declaratively, not by procedurally. 10. Keep security object-oriented. What is agent? Agents are an internal background process operating on the server to run an activity. Agents are asynchronous and independent. They also perform system tasks such as sending email notifications and synchronizing caches across nodes. Activities they call run individually on their own schedule, and one activity doesn't have to finish another activity. How do you troubleshoot or trace an agent? 1. env name equals agent / enable value equals true /. Verify the above tag in the perconfig file. Verify if the value of the above tag is true or false. 2. In agent schedule, schedule tab verifies the checkbox enable this agent, if this option is checked or not. 3. The same thing also checks an agent's rule. 4. In tracer, we can trace the particular operator or particular agent. 5. In PRSYSMGMT portal, in the agent management, select the particular agent and delay the agent and then run the tracer. 6. We can use the agent management link in the system management application to monitor and control agent processing. The agent runs on different nodes, selects the particular node and runs the tracer. What is SLA? Where do we use SLA? A service level rule is an instance of the rule-obj service level rule type. Each service level rule defines 1 or 2 time intervals, known as goals and deadlines, that indicate the expected or targeted time for the assignment, or time to resolve for the work object. If an assignment isn't completed before the time limit, the system can automatically raise the assignment, and cancel the entire flow, and so on. What is circumstance? Circumstance is the optional condition and enhancement of rule resolution alg. Diff variations of the rules within the same version created for diff flavor suite for different situation. Circumstance works during the rule resolution, At runtime, system first find the rules based on class hierarchy, then searches for rules the requester's session needs. It compares the values of rule set, version, and availability to determine which rule executed. What is access group? Access group controls the security based on the job functions. It is instance of data admin operator access group. Various aspects that can be controlled through access group are default and available types of works, also called as work pools. Primary rule sets, access control to rule sets, assigned roles, portal layout. What is work list, work basket? Work list is an outstanding assignment waiting for a user to perform them. Work basket is an instance of data admin work basket class. Work object progress through a flow execution. The system creates assignment. Assignment may be created either with individual user or work basket. What is local action? When action is finished, work object returns to same assignment. Diff between obj validate and property validate? Obj validate is we can do validations for multiple properties of a single work object. Property validate is only one property we can do validations for single work object. What do you mean by workspace or studio? A workspace is an environment that provides particular features and tools. A system admin complained that he could not access the admin studio. What could be the potential reason? Answer: 1 needed some tools to access admin studio. They are sysadmin 4. Pega rules, sysops administrator. Pega rules, sysops observer. In Pega 8.4, what are the new components added for application development? In app development, some cool new features are included. 1 role-based workspaces are used. 2 reusable components are managed effectively. 3 developers can review entire project highlights on a single page. What is a prediction studio? A prediction studio is a dedicated workspace for data scientists to control the life cycle of advanced analytics models. The prediction studio consists of predictive models, self-learning or adaptive models, and text models. What are some types of portals provided by the PRPC? PRPC consists of 4 types of portals: custom portals, fixed portals, mobile portals, composite portals. Explain requester type in Pega. The requester type in Pega is the requester that accesses the Pega platform like an external application, an internal background process, or a browser session. Explain activities in the context of Pega. In Pega, platform activities make process automation. In Dev Studio, activities contain a series of steps that perform in the given order to keep activities short. Explain the declarative rule in the context of Pega. A declarative rule is an instance of a subclass of the ruleDeclare class. They allow the automatic processing of values. How can you resolve work objects using activity? To resolve work objects using activity, we have to follow the steps they are. First step, open the object. Second step, set the correct ticket on your flow or click on Finish Assignment. How do you specify if expression triggers F/W or B/W chaining? By checking the Change Tracking tab, you can specify if an expression triggers F/W or B/W. Explain the different types of harnesses that you have used. Pega applications typically use 4 standard harnesses to organize the content of user forms. They are New, Perform, Review, Confirm. What is the declare index in Pega? Declare index is a rule that exposes aggregate properties like list, page, or group for reporting purposes. They are a part of the system admin category. What is rule resolution in Pega, and what are its benefits? Rule resolution is a search algorithm the system uses to determine the most appropriate or the best rule to apply and complete the process. With automated rule resolution, one can save time and make sure you implement resources efficiently. Can we refer to the property without exposing it in reports? Yes, without exposing, we can refer to the property in the Display tab. We can't refer to the property without exposing it in the Criteria fields of the Content tab. Do we need to create an agent schedule? No, we cannot create agent schedules manually. The Agent Manager on our Process Commander system generates at least one agent schedule instance for each agent's rule. How do we handle escalation? Escalation means any processing within a Process Commander application that causes high-priority work objects to become visible to users and managers and to be processed immediately. Escalation can occur through a service-level rule associated with the flow and through background processing by the PegaPortal agent. What is the use of the RDB open method? RDB open method retrieves a single row of data from an external database and then adds the retrieved data into a specified clipboard page as property values and names. What are the types of flow in Pega? The types of flow in Pega are 1. Process flows. 2. Screen flows. 3. Subflows. 4. Straight-through process flows. What do you mean by workspace or studio in the context of Pega? What are the different types of workspaces offered by Pega? In the workspace, there are specialized functionalities and tools to work. With different workspaces, we can manage and develop our application. In the Pega platform, there are 4 role-based authoring workspaces called studios. 1. App Studio. 2. Dev Studio. 3. Prediction Studio. 4. Admin Studio. With the help of studios, we can enhance productivity and speed up the application process by providing role-based capabilities to users. What is meant by a data page in the Pega platform? In the Pega platform, the data page helps to recover data from a stated data source and it caches the same within the memory. Moreover, a data page controls the data source integration, isolating business actions from this integration. Distinguish between utility and activity in Pega. In Pega, activity is helpful to automate the process and also useful to configure the system to automate claim uploads. It is also possible to do without the intervention of the user. An activity consists of sequential steps that execute in the order of instruction. Similarly, in the Pega platform, utility is useful when a user calls the activity in a flow. The utility is a form in a Pega flow, whereas activity is a rule or instance of the rule objectivity rule type. How can you connect with multiple Pega applications? We can connect with many Pega apps using SOAP, HTTP, MQ, and JMS. Which table will you use to add a note in the Pega platform? The following is the table used to add a note in the Pega platform PC_data_work attach. Which table will you use to add a note in the Pega platform? The following is the table used to add a note in the Pega platform PC_data_work attach. Where do you store the work objects in Pega? By default, the work objects are stored within the PC_work table. Further, if you wish to keep these objects under a user-built table, you can do the following: 1. Create a schema that is similar to the PC_work table. 2. Alter the group mapping of a class to a new table created earlier. Define step status good and step status fail rules in Pega. The rules step status good and step status fail are used when they check the PX method status property value as good or fail. It is when the condition is defined within a base class. What is Pega, and what are its key features? Pega is a BPM-based application development platform known for its low-code approach, BPM, CRM, RPA, and AI capabilities. Explain the Pega application development lifecycle. The lifecycle includes designing, building, testing, deploying applications using Pega platform, What are data pages in Pega, and how do they differ from clipboard pages? Data pages cache and manage data for reuse, while clipboard pages store temporary data during case processing. How can you check an activity's local variables values? 1. We can check these values of an activity using the log message. 2. In Tracer we can enable the local variables and settings and see an unnamed page. Like, share, and subscribe.